Hey, how's it going? Mark Linder, your friendly real estate broker here from the 1-8 Real Estate Group, coming to you live and direct today. Just wanted to touch base real quick. I'm not going to do a July market report this month because it's really more of the same. So just go back, listen to my June market update. July is pretty much exactly the same. It's trending in the same exact direction. We have an increase in values. We have a little bit of a slowdown in the days on market, okay? But it's still very much a seller's market. The buyers are still out there popping. But what we have seen, just to reiterate what I predicted last month, is exactly what's happening, and that is there's just a little bit more inventory out there than there was last year. So that's what we're seeing. Interest rates aren't high enough where they're affecting things too much. So we still have a very stable seller's market, but the cool thing is it's a little bit easier for my buyers out there. But anyway, let's get into what I want to talk about today. And a couple of things I want to get into today and touch upon. But one is let's talk about millennials. If you go back and look at one of my previous videos, I told you about how the millennials are going to start coming on board. And we've started to see that happen. However, there's still a lot of millennials that are on the fence. So according to an Urban Institute State of Millennial Housing, the probability of a millennial becoming a homeowner increases by 17.9% if they're married, and additional 6.2% if they had children. Now last year, according to the US Census Bureau, the average age at first marriage was 30 for men and 27 for women. So you know what? The millennials are just tying the knot a little bit later than previous generations. And I think that's the determining factor is when you get married and when you have kids, you start thinking about getting a home. You don't want to rent anymore. You want something safe, you want something stable, and you start to think about your financial future. It's what we call the responsibility zone, okay? With most of this generation having yet to age into the responsibility zone, okay? Now by that, I mean older millennials are like 25 to 34, okay? The younger ones, they're not there yet, but what we're seeing obviously is a man needs to turn 30 before he gets married, and women 27, okay? So that's the key indicator when it comes to millennials is when they're around 30 or around 27, they're going to start thinking about buying a house because they're getting into that responsibility zone, which is that time in their lives where the responsibilities that they have start to dictate their behavior. So, however, there's still a lot of realtors throughout the country that continue to stress that there's a considerable pent-up demand for buying a home among the millennials in their market. But unfortunately, they're just not making meaningful ground and continue to be held back by too few choices in their price range, and thereby they're missing out on home ownership and they're missing out on wealth gains. And you know, that's the truth. I did another video where I talked about how amazingly awesome it is to own real estate. So if you're a millennial, you're on the fence, you're thinking about, well, I'll wait till I get married, I'll wait till I have kids. You might want to be proactive and jump in on this because I'm getting ready to talk about why real estate continues to be the most preferred way to gain wealth in this country. Now, Americans, they actually rank real estate investments for 5 years running, and here's what they came up with. 34%. Let me ask you a question. Out of all the Americans investing money, as far as like real estate, stock market, gold, or a savings account, what percentage of Americans are investing, of all the investments that are taking place, what percentage of that investment is going into gold or real estate? You know, if you'd asked me this a few years ago, everybody was buying gold and silver, I probably would have said, man, 34% is gonna buy gold. But guess what? It's flipped. 34% of all the investments taking place by Americans right now is happening in real estate. It's happening in real estate. Did you know that since 2011, real estate has been the number one here? And 34% of Americans used to favor gold as their best investment. So it's flip-flop. People are putting their money in real estate. 26% in the stock market, 17% in gold, okay? And 15% in the good old savings account at what? 2%, 0.001% or whatever it is they're giving you, right? Not very much, right? So here's the deal, guys. Everybody's investing in real estate because it's still the best investment out there. So let's take a look at this. Real estate has outranked stocks, mutual funds, gold, savings accounts, CDs, and bonds, and as the best long-term investment strategy for Americans for the last 5 years now. It has been the top dog percentage-wise, okay? Generations agree real estate is the best investment. Generation X leads the way, however, with 37%. So Gen X has went nuts. 37% of them investing in real estate. While what I just shared with you about millennials, they're still kind of on the fence. So this is Mark Linder with the 1-8 Real Estate Group. If you're thinking about buying or selling a house, this is the best way to generate long-term wealth that all Americans agree to. Buy real estate, guys. I've got some fantastic programs to get you in, 0 down, with low money up front. I've got some great programs to keep that payment down nice and low. I've got lease with the option to buy programs. You know, we can do anything and everything. We can do seller finance, but you know, I've got some great lenders out there. That's the first step. Unless you've got $300,000-$400,000 sitting somewhere, you're gonna need a loan. It doesn't cost you anything to get qualified. Find out where you stand, even if you're buying 3, 6, even 12 months down the road. Find out where you stand. Get yourself a professional like myself that's been doing this for over 15 years to represent you. And let's find you that house. Let's find you that investment property. Let's get in while the interest rates are low and while the prices are not rising too much, because if you wait, they're just gonna be higher next year, and so will the interest rates. So let's get you into a home. My name is Mark Linder with the 1-8 Real Estate Group. Thanks for listening to this message. We'll look forward to hearing from you. Take care.